So I knew that, okay, Real Vision was moving more towards Web3. Global Macro Investor, I write about it. I still write macro, obviously. But I wanted to make two big bets. Going back to this story of how young Indians should think about finance, I just took the same thing. Is what is the secular trend here? One is all the institutional investors, all the rich families, everybody's going to come into crypto. Right now, it's too difficult for them to do. They don't want to go and, figure out wallets or custody and all of that. And it's becoming more complicated. It's not just a Bitcoin world anymore. It's a complicated technology world. And we're all feeling a bit dumber every day as this space gets smarter and smarter. So I thought, how do I solve this? And I thought, what we'll do is we'll create an asset management company that invests in the world's best digital asset hedge funds. So let the hedge funds focus on what they do, which is finding the best opportunities in the space. We'll build a broad basket. So now big investors can come in. And that's the start of the asset management business. So that's one bet. Everybody in finance is going to invest in this space. What's the other bet? The other bet is, everybody's going to be using blockchain technology. It's going to change the world. And it's going to be a consumer application of massive scale. Because if I extrapolate the trend rate of growth, we get to about 4 billion people in the next 5 years. So this is going to be another Cambrian explosion. So what are those use cases? So I had a thesis that culture is becoming the new asset class. So this is culture and community. And where those are strongest are music, sports, film, TV, book franchises, and fashion. Now, there's probably religion and politics. We'll leave those two out. But those four apply to somebody in India, somebody in South Korea, somebody in Brazil, somebody in the United States. And they are at a gigantic scale. So I think they're going to be tokenized using both a combination of NFTs and social tokens. And if I think the next billion people come into that and the next $1 trillion comes into the finance bucket to fund all of this, well, I want to capture both of those. So this is the biggest bet I've ever seen. It's the most intellectually rewarding thing I've ever done. It's a whole load of fun. So I'm now working stupidly 14 hours a day, like 7 days a week, but I've got a grin on my face and endless energy from doing it because these times are magic. They happen once or twice in your entire life when opportunity is everywhere. It's not easy. It never is easy. Opportunity is everywhere. You've seen it and you go for it. It's inevitable because we as humans want it. We as humans understand some of the fragilities of the system. Humans' two strongest emotions are fear and greed. Crypto works for both of them. Fear is, I want to keep my money. I don't want it taken away and I don't want it debased and I don't trust you. And greed is, hey, this is a perfect behavioral economics incentive system where if we all participate in the network, the value of the network goes up. So this is a very powerful force. Imagine if Facebook, when it started, so Facebook works by giving you a bunch of free tools, monetizes your attention span, and the shareholders get rich and you kind of get abused, but you get the free tools. So it's a trade-off. Imagine if Facebook had given every single user free shares. You would have told everybody about it and would be passionate about it. That's all crypto is. Yeah. NFT, which is up, I just worked out this morning, 600% in the last month. We've got a Genesis NFT, which is starting, which is what we're building out our whole Web3 business. We've got another NFTs coming this year, which is going to create a community around fantasy trading, of which that's going to seed another group, which is going to be tokenized asset management, where we get the hive mind, the crowd, to start creating asset allocations. And so then because they're smart people, we want to do that. But the Real Vision token's coming as well. So it's all part of this Web3 explosion at Real Vision that's happening right now. Looks like, because I've got it on my screensaver and most people don't know about it. It actually says the super community of finance built on the super platform of finance. So what we're doing at core is finance is a bunch of disparate communities. India wasn't part of the Americans or Europeans, wasn't part of the South Asians. Well, we want to bring both geographic people together, but also crypto, macro, single stock investors, precious metals investors. We want investment advisors, asset managers, students. We want all of the communities of finance, and we'll overserve them. Like we're doing with India, they can use the existing content because it applies for them, because Real Vision goes across everybody, but we'll create new experiences for all of these communities to super serve these communities. And to do that, we're busy building out a super platform of finance and experiences. So there's going to be charting, pricing, portfolio tools, the ability to execute, education, note-taking, artificial intelligence that takes all the information from the network and gives it back to you in insights. There's going to be, a lot of different features coming that get rolled out over time, that I want you to live your financial life entirely on Real Vision. Because right now we're spread across 20 bloody apps. It's crazy. The disparate communities stuff. I'm not going to take away from Twitter. We all use Twitter, but we might as well double click on your Real Vision desktop app and your Twitter opens up as part of it. And maybe you can curate Twitter so you only see stuff from Real Vision members. Well, that's going to be a better curated list than the crap we have to deal with every day on Twitter. So there's a lot we can do to curate experiences and make it one click, you're into your financial world, all your notes are there, your portfolio's there, crypto, macro, the analysis is there, everything. Research, the lot.
Cool. And what would people do with the token?
Token will be your basic reward system. So if you're a good community member, if you're publishing research, you're publishing trade ideas, you are doing great community actions, you'll get rewarded both by the community and by Real Vision itself. And that will be the system of currency of which you can spend. So it should be a true utility token, something more akin to how FTX use a token, which is the way of navigating the ecosystem. You accumulate more tokens, you'll be able to cash them in, membership reward
you
style.
Stake them.
We're still building out the social graph, stuff like that, but it should happen maybe by the end of the first half next year.
Very cool. And all the folks who are who sign up in India, etc., will get to be in some way a part of this, I assume.
Exactly. We need to figure out all the legalities of doing it, but we'll probably first use I'm probably giving away secrets here. We've been using things like POAPs for events. So proof of attendance protocol. So we start building a social graph, rewarding people for community behavior. We'll have a system like Reddit did first. You get some points. I think we've been using coconuts. We've been testing because it's the Cayman Islands, coconut points. But eventually that will convert probably to some sort of airdrop version of a token. But again, we've got a lot of legal work to get to. Two real types of rums. Firstly is aging, right? Same with whiskies. So the kind of 5 to 7 year old, that's the stuff you can mix with anything. So like you'd have, with Coke or with soda or with ginger or whatever. And, in that kind of bracket, stuff like Havana Club or Flor de Caña from Nicaragua, great stuff. Then you start getting to the fancy rums. Like Indians are kind of mad about Scotch whiskey. Here in the Caribbean, we're mad about rum. And so every one of these small islands has their own rum, and some of them have really special rums. So Flor de Caña is my kind of go-to high quality rum. The 12-year-old Flor de Caña is like, you can drink it neat, you can drink it mixed. It's like perfect. But then after that, you go to stuff like Clement from Martinique, the French rums. They're called rum agricoles. They're really interesting. Or you might go to the dark rums like Zacapa, which are like really rich and heavy and sweet. There's a whole different experience of rums. And then you can go to there's a Colombian rum called Dictador, and that was kind of in receivership for many years. And so a friend of mine bought it, and the bank had a hold on their warehouse.